Hi, everybody. Welcome to this month's NeQter Labs monthly town hall webinar. Thank you to everyone who's in here already. Probably give it just a couple minutes to see if anybody else has the ability to join in early on, but we will get started very shortly. Today, we are going to be primarily focusing on a new service that Nectar is going to be providing called Nectar Plus. It is going to be an enhanced review service for your Nectar. And I will hand things over to Patrick from here to kind of start off and go over all of the details with you guys.
Yeah, yep. Thanks, Nick. So I think we'll let kind of people flow through, but we'll just kind of get started here. Yeah. So as Nick mentioned, we're going to talk about something that we're still in the early stages of, and determining viability and maybe different levels of it, because there's so much to consider when it comes to CMMC and compliance, just different levels of shared responsibility. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also just, again, touch upon any ecosystem updates with NIST and CMMC. As of right now, we're still in a waiting period, and then we do have a team update that we'll review. So Nectar Plus, really, what is it? So we have been getting a lot of different feedback, or as we do quarterlies with Nick, we're we're seeing that, um, of course, a lot of small businesses, they and a lot of our customers, they either don't have the specific know-how, or if they do have the know-how, they might not have the bandwidth to you know deploy and maintain sim. With Nectar, of course, we try to make it easy to use and keep adding features and making it pretty straightforward. But even with that, it's still a large undertaking. So this is really going to be, with Nectar Plus, enhanced support. With We're looking to carve out kind of a new security services department. So the goal is going to be providing over the shoulder support to accelerate your value with the platform by having additional configuration and onboarding. So that's more a little bit for newer clients, but of course, even with existing clients, reanalyzing and potentially having an onboarding for this type of service, and also to reduce operational overhead with proactive maintenance and tuning. So there's a lot of big words, but what does that really mean? So what is going to be included with something like Nectar Plus, or at least our idea of how Nectar Plus is shaping up? So it's going to be once per month is the model we're looking at now. We've also debated if quarterly makes sense, but definitely to start, you want to do one thing, and you want to do one thing well. So once a month, we're going to be reviewing and delivering, making sure software updates are performed, performing a health check on the system, reviewing vulnerability scan reports, reviewing events and analyzing alert statistics, looking at inventory, doing a review of that, and then having a monthly meeting. So I'm going to extrapolate all of these things now. So number one, software updates. Well, of course, you have the ability to update Nectar on your own and just press up. New update comes out, press update. Well, of course, there's a little bit more to that. There's running and installing the update, but then, of course, being aware of the latest features and making sure that they get implemented or effectively used. Nick can attest to, he does the, the quarterly touch points with a lot of you, where sometimes there's a new feature that's been there for a few months or half the year, and you go, "Hey, did you know about this?" And that's what we do on these calls too. "Hey, just as a reminder, this feature exists, and here's how to use it." Well, it doesn't always get implemented, so we would help with that, making sure, okay, the updates are performed, and then any all new and great features are implemented. One of the biggest things that we see is, um, from the host agent's standpoint, they're not on the latest. They're not on the latest version. Or sometimes, we still come across very frequently the 2.11.5 agent versions deployed on hosts. Well, it's missing a lot of capability. It's missing a lot of good features, such as metrics and stuff like that. And we want to update those. So we would be just assisting, making sure that everything is up to date from an agent standpoint. And then, of course, there's new inputs and integrations. So making sure those get enabled or deployed. Sometimes you go on a meeting, and we had one the other day that was, well, oh, I wondered why I wasn't getting alerts from this firewall. Well, we switched that one out for this other vendor, and really kind of staying on top of those ebbs and flows or those changes within an environment. So we would be kind of keeping an eyeball on that. Additionally, so there's the updates, of course, but the updates don't solve everything. Sometimes you need to maintain system health checkups. So monitoring for, of course, an audit process failure, but also other things within the system, performing health assessments, or trying to identify any operational issues. You sometimes, SIM isn't perfect. Sometimes the indices, there's a service issue that causes them not to store or write or visualize properly. Um, Sometimes that's attributable to resource utilization. So making sure that that's nominal, services are nominal. Um, so we would be conducting that as well. Really, some behind the scenes stuff, and then also, of course, things that you can see through your dashboards of NeQter. We would be taking a look at. So a little bit of secret sauce, and then a little bit of what's already happening with NeQter. So outside of that, of course, there's the vulnerability scans being performed, and we sometimes find that the scans are running effectively, or they are providing results or reports, but sometimes you don't know where to take that, or where to go next. So one of the things that we would be doing is generating and delivering scan reports that highlight or reorganize things that can be critical, or looking at statistics changes over time, identifying trends, and then really kind of having a tasking of, okay, well, kind of cutting through the noise here. This is what's important. Start with these, and hopefully by next month they'll get addressed, especially the highs, or on systems that are, of course, more important operational systems, or infrastructure systems, tackling those. So that's another thing. Or, of course, taking a look at a scope, or making sure are the scans being performed on all of the areas that are within scope, or there's a new boundary, or there's a new VLAN, there's a new aspect of the environment that needs a new scan to be run. So taking a look at that, looking at the configuration, and then the follow-on data that is occurring, that is happening. And then, of course, it's a sim. Logs are most important. So providing event review to analyze the events in the logs, and to track the trends, um, and to highlight points of interest, looking at alerts to ensure that, okay, one, what are these alerts saying, the ones that are firing off, but also, are we getting triggers, or do we have all of the alerts that we need to set up for each unique environment? Of course, there's base alerts within NeQter. There's alerts for 365, or different ones that you can set up for firewalls or Windows or what have you. But then there's going to be, as always, unique use cases. I want to see specifically users accessing this directory, or I want to see admin events that are, performing this action. So, are all the ones turned on that we need? Yes, no, maybe so. Let's turn this on. Let's create some custom alerts. So that would kind of also be rolled up into this service, because of course existing support, or Nick with success, or even myself, hey, how do I do this? There's kind of that thought process behind it, that involves the why or the what. So we would be also helping with the why and the what here, with this, statistics and event review. And then, of course, there's the inventory element of the tool that's just sitting there, plodding along, pulling in information. So we would be putting eyes on that, over the shoulder support of reviewing the asset inventory, making sure that, from a SIM standpoint, all endpoints and devices are being tracked. All feeds that we should be pulling in are being pulled in. And then tracking new or removed systems are updated appropriately. Really just kind of continuing to prune and clean and maintain. Because as you can imagine, sometimes we go into an environment has been looked at in a bit, or a certain area hasn't been looked at in a bit. And oh man, I need to clear out all these. We got rid of those laptops after we moved from 10 to 11. There's 10 kind of orphaned systems, or systems that are listed out in here, but they're actually dead, or they've been removed. So it's not providing a up to date reflection of your environment. So we would be providing that as well. And then, lastly, of course, there's these things that we're eyeballing and looking and curating and reviewing, but then providing all of that in a digestible format in a monthly meeting. So we would be conducting uh, a monthly meeting, to review system performance, discuss issues, and identify some ways to improve. Okay, next month we want to do this, or in a couple months we want to trend in this direction. But the monthly meeting would also include a report for software updates, for system health check, for the vulnerability scan, for the alert statistics in the events, for the updated inventory report with any changes or issues identified. And then, of course, meeting minutes, a summary, and action items from this, this monthly review. So then you can have those, every month to show, kind of show the homework, show the work behind the scenes. So that's essentially what we're envisioning as we start to round out the service. So the main question kind of is it ready? Well, we're getting there. We currently have a test group, a pilot program. We're working through these kind of initial hurdles of service delivery, scalability, making sure that we have all of the boxes checked. Of course, because it's alongside uh, compliance initiatives, we want to make sure that we're not overstepping, and we're doing the things that we need to do, and we're identifying a shared responsibility matrix for this new offering. So we're still rounding that all out, making sure that, you know not inserting foot in mouth by, okay, let's have this reviewed by, a handful of C3PAOs, kind of a blind test to make sure, okay, come assessment time. Yeah, of course, the biggest thing that we would not want to do is cause finding. We provide the service. We don't want to be the cause of somebody not meeting compliance. So we want to make sure we're doing our due diligence. So we're starting out a little local with this, kind of in the New England area, and we'll look to branch out. But if you are interested in learning more, or signing up to be a pilot, please reach out to me, or if there's any kind of questions that anyone might have in the chat today for this. I didn't want to go and rehash because we've already talked about that update a couple times at this point. But yeah, so that's the new direction that we're looking to take um, as an add-on service provided by NeQter. So that's everything there when it comes to NeQter Plus. Um, for ecosystem updates for CMMC, not a whole lot has changed between now and last month. We're still waiting for the 48 CFR to come out. There's more and more C3PAOs getting added to the marketplace. There's more and more companies coming out, maybe on LinkedIn or PR Newswire, saying, "Hey, we have L2. We got our certification." So there's a lot of companies churning through that. But the good news is there are still C3PAOs. We're already, I can't even believe it. We're already halfway through the year. We hit June. There are a couple spots that are attainable for 2025, but it's really a 2026 thing at this point. If you haven't already scheduled or are looking for a CMMCL2. But as always, please feel to reach out to us saying, "Hey, who do you recommend? Who is local to me, or who knows the environment or the type of company that I'm operating?" If you're not, if you're a machine shop, you don't want a C3PAO that excels at cloud only, or vice versa. So you'll definitely want to pre-qualify a C3PAO, and any C3PAO worth their salt is going to do that in their own process. They're going to pre-qualify, make sure that because they want to pick winners. They don't want to pick somebody that potentially will fail and then make their track record look bad. So um, let us know if you need to vet a C3PAO, need an introduction, or you might not think you're ready, but you kind of want to do a dry run. You want to do a mock assessment just to see where the gaps are. Please feel free to reach out to us to let us know kind of what that looks like. Um, but other than that, before I kind of end on the last note, I want to make sure: are there any questions for, of course, NeQter Plus, but also just NeQter at large? Anything with the software? How do I do this? How do I do that? Can you show me right now how to do something within the tool? Um, we'll uh, we'll leave it open for that. Or you can also drop in the chat, say, I don't like NeQter Plus. I don't think that's a good direction. You guys should keep doing the software, doing that well, or do that better. Any feedback is good feedback. As we're trying to we've gotten asked, we're trying to help a little bit more, but sometimes it's not the right move. So any feedback that people have, but then again, of course, if you have any questions on the sim, on the inventory tool, how do I do this with an agent? Any questions like that, feel free to drop in the chat. But if nothing comes through in that direction, and before too many people start to drop off, I just wanted to end on talking about team update that we have. Our good old friend Nick here is moving on. Nick Furta, this is his last town hall with everyone. He's moving on to a new opportunity. He's leaving the nest. Found something good that was too good to pass up. So just wanted to review a little bit, and I'll of course let Nick chime in here to let us know, any parting thoughts or stuff like that. But really, Nick, he's been with us for 6 years. Came in 2019. Um, so he's one of our longest tenured employees at NeQter. So it's going to be you know a little tough. He's going to leave a hole behind. He already did that a little bit because he moved. We were all working in the office together, and Nick decided to run on down to North Carolina. So maybe that was a little bit good for us to create a little separation, make the heart grow fonder. But with Nick, he came in. Literally off the street. He was friends with someone that we had on the team in sales, and one day Nick came in and he started picking up the phone, and he's like, I can do this. You guys should hire me. And we originally had him for sales, and then we found that just his great personality and the way that he is with people, he was perfect for something that we needed, customer success. So we basically spearheaded the customer success department, and I'm sure, as many of you can attest, maintained a positive, NeQter experience with everyone, kept everyone warm, kept everyone happy, coordinated with support and development and sales to make sure that people were getting the best out of their NeQter software and the NeQter team. So I'll hand it over to Nick if you want to say a few words.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Pat. This was a surprise for me, so thanks for trying to make me cry on my last recorded thing that's going to be published to the public. It
Yeah,
almost got
yeah. Well,
me.
put your camera on. We want to, see the tears.
No, no, there are no
I'll
tears
keep
yet.
my camera off. There's no tears on this side either.
If they, yeah,
Yeah.
no tears. No, but yeah, I mean, not an understatement of walking off the street. I don't think you could have depicted it any more accurately. But it's really easy to just kind of step in off the street when the product is as good as it is with Nectar. Obviously, over the last 6 years, I've gotten really close with everybody on this call today and the entire Nectar team. And I would not have the opportunity that I have today if it wasn't for these guys picking me up off the street. So very grateful to the Nectar team. Honestly, if it wasn't too good to pass up, I wouldn't even be leaving because I love working here so much. Uh, just such an awesome group of guys, and they've been talking about version 3, but I've been seeing it in person and just keeping my mouth shut. But you guys definitely have a lot of awesome things coming from this team. Um, Patrick, Richard, Banara, a few other people from the Nectar team are going to be picking up the slack where I left off until Nick 2.0 comes in at some point in the future. Um, so you guys are going to be in really good hands, if not better hands, especially if you get Pat. You can ask him all the compliance questions that I always sent you to him for, anyways, live and in person. Um, and in regards to Pat's comment on me running down to North Carolina, I got to get one last corny joke in. I tried running, but I only made it about a mile before I ran out of breath, so I went back to the car and decided to drive down instead.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, yeah, that'll be my piece de resistance with the corny joke segments that I've always done. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna miss everybody here. Anyone who wants to keep in touch, definitely feel free. And all of you can be jealous that I am escaping CMMC requirements with the new role. So if you want to talk to me about anything not related to CMMC, I'm open to it. But keep the compliance to
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, that's what it was. He's like, "Wait, 48's coming out. It's time for me
Yeah.
to time for me to dip."
No, no, no. but honestly, all of you guys are doing so good with Nectar. I'm like watching all of you guys grow over the last 6 years working with the platform. Some of you for six, some of you for less. I've watched everyone make so much progress, and I'm really proud of all of our customers. And just you guys are all awesome. Keep going with CMMC. Don't let it beat you, and don't forget to email Pat every single day and tell him how much you miss me and ask him all of the questions.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Flood my inbox. I'll forward them. So.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
about it for me. Also, I did
Hmm.
Pat, I don't know while we're on, I could talk to you after this, but I did post a
Hmm.
poll in here for you for the Nectar Plus, but I have no idea to view how to view the actual vote results on who voted. So it
Yeah.
didn't
We'll
really work for me.
we'll circle around on that. See about that. But
Yeah.
I didn't see any kind of product questions. So um didn't steal your thunder there. I was worried. I wanted to end it after the question just in case we're trying to have a you know heartfelt moment and someone's like, hey, I have a question on X. So that didn't happen. So but yeah, wish you all the best. Thanks so much for all of your work and staying late and you know it's been so long since we've been working together. We used to we used to go out after work and get drinks. Now we both go home and we're in bed by 9. So it's definitely been a lot of growth on your end, a lot of growth in the company side, and of course, like you mentioned, a lot of growth on the client side as well, or people's use or knowledge of the tools. So you were you know, big core piece of all that. So you'll be missed. We'll try to um, replace your functions in the aggregate, but nothing can replace you as a person. Um, so yeah. So isn't this nice? This is all recorded. Will be on posterity and on the internet. So that's always good. But
Honestly, it's great because now when I'm missing you guys, if you stop answering my text messages or kick me out of the Slack groups, then I'll just go to YouTube and I'll watch this over on repeat.
yeah, yep. so So yeah, but otherwise I'll let you take us out for the last time. Just like NBA on TNT. They had their sign off with Turner last week, so you'll have your sign off with Nectar here.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll just end it with, it's been a pleasure. Everyone keep kicking CMMC's butt. And Patrick, we'll see you all next month.